soft, melancholic piano music begins. It started like a masterpiece, a perfect first stroke on a blank canvas. Emma and Daniel. They found each other in an art gallery, a quiet space between paintings of passion and sorrow. She was a painter, pouring all her unspoken emotions onto canvas. He was a poet, his verses locked away, unseen. Their connection was instant, a spark that grew into a wildfire. "You're the only one who truly sees me," she'd whisper, her head resting on his shoulder, and he'd reply, his voice full of promise, "Then don't ever hide from me." But secrets have a way of surfacing. One evening, the soft lamplight caught a faint scar on her wrist. "Just a silly mistake," she said, pulling her sleeve down. "An accident, but a writer's curiosity is a dangerous thing." Tucked away in her drawer, he found a faded newspaper clipping. The headline sent a shiver down his spine. "Local photographer disappears. Girlfriend questioned." The girlfriend was Emma. The seed of doubt grew into an obsession. Daniel started watching her, a detective in his own home. He'd check her phone when she slept, follow her on her morning walks, trying to piece together the puzzle of the woman he loved. But Emma was always one step ahead. She moved with an unsettling grace, her smile never faltering. "Why don't you trust me, darling?" she'd ask, her voice like silk hiding a razor's edge. He could only mutter, his eyes dark with suspicion. "Because I know love can kill." Then came the storm. As rain lashed against the windows, Emma finally confessed. "He tried to leave me," she said, her voice eerily calm. I couldn't let him go." The world stopped for Daniel. The candlelight flickered, casting long, dancing shadows on her face. In that moment, he understood. He wasn't her lover, he was her next project, her next masterpiece of possession. Driven by a chilling fear, he waited until she was gone and ventured into the one place she told him was off limits: the basement. Behind a stack of old canvases, he found a heavy, locked chest. He pried it open. Inside were photographs of other men, their smiles frozen in time, and a silk scarf stained with a dark, rusted red. A cold dread washed over him, then a voice from the doorway, soft and final. "You shouldn't have opened that, Daniel." The confrontation was a whirlwind of rage and heartbreak. The small room felt like a cage. They struggled, a vase shattering against the wall. In the chaos, a knife from her art supplies flashed in the dim light. A gasp, and then silence. Emma fell, her eyes wide with a shock that mirrored his own. I didn't mean to," he whispered, his hands trembling as he stared at what he'd done. He buried her under the rose garden, the place she said brought her peace. He erased every trace of her from his life, deleted her number, burned the photos, and wrote one last, desperate poem. She said love was forever. I just didn't know how true that was. But you can't bury a memory. Guilt became his shadow. He saw her reflection in mirrors, heard her voice in the wind, felt her presence in every empty room. Her whisper haunted his sleepless nights. "You're mine, forever." His own art twisted into something unrecognizable, canvases filled with shades of red and hollow, accusing eyes. The end came with a knock on the door. A neighbor had reported a strange smell from the garden. He watched from the window as the police arrived, their shovels disturbing the perfect roses. As the truth was unearthed, an officer murmured, "She didn't deserve this." Daniel looked on, a strange sense of release washing over him. "Neither did I," he said, the words barely a breath. In the sterile quiet of his cell, Daniel finished his final poem, the ink a stark, symbolic red. "Love is a promise, sometimes kept by death." As he closed the notebook, he heard her one last time, a faint whisper in his mind, a promise fulfilled. "I told you, Daniel. You'll never leave me. Thank you for watching this dark tale unfold." If you enjoy stories that explore the shadows of the human heart, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more. We'll see you in the next one.